The Galactic Council had always underestimated humanity. To them, humans were newcomers, primitive apes who had barely escaped their own gravity well. When the Zrathi Empire declared war on the entire Outer Rim, the Council's response was predictable. They conscripted every species capable of holding a weapon, including Earth. Captain Lisa Chen stood in the salvage yard of Outpost Gamma 7, her boots crunching on twisted metal and broken circuitry. Around her stretched mountains of discarded alien technology, the Council's generous contribution to humanity's war effort. Her dark eyes scanned the debris with a mixture of fury and calculation. "This is what they sent us?" Lieutenant Leo Martinez emerged from behind a collapsed hull section, his face smudged with hydraulic fluid. 60 years of obsolete Vryn cruiser parts, half a Kelter destroyer, and what looks like a Thaxian garbage scow. Lisa kicked a corroded panel. "They expect us to fight the most advanced military in the galaxy with their trash." The Council's message was clear, Leo said bitterly, pulling up a holographic display. "Humanity gets the scraps. The real species get actual warships." For 3 months, the salvage yard had been humanity's prison and workshop. While Vryn dreadnoughts and Keltor battlecruisers patrolled the front lines, Earth's engineers were left to dig through refuse. The other species whispered among themselves. Humanity would be the first to fall, cannon fodder for the Zrathi advance. But they didn't understand humans. They didn't understand what desperation and spite could accomplish. Lisa walked to the center of the yard where her chief engineer, a grizzled woman named Sarah, had assembled a team of 300 humans. Welders, programmers, physicists, mechanics, everyone who could hold a tool or write code. "Show me what we have," Lisa commanded. Sarah grinned, a wild light in her eyes. "Captain, this junk is from a dozen different species. Nothing's compatible. Different power systems, different computer languages, different physical laws in some cases. And that means nobody's ever tried to combine them before. The Council species are too rigid, too specialized. But us?" Sarah's grin widened. "We're adaptable." Leo pulled up schematics that made Lisa's breath catch. "We started with the Vryn cruiser skeleton. It's the biggest intact piece. But we've been grafting on everything else. Keltor shield generators, Thaxian sensor arrays, even some Zrathi weapons we salvaged from destroyed ships." "That's impossible," Lisa breathed. "The power requirements alone." "We solved it," Sarah interrupted. "Human solution. We found an old human nuclear reactor in our own supplies. Primitive by Council standards, but we've been using it to bootstrap a Vryn fusion core that nobody could get working. Turns out sometimes you need a crude hammer to start an elegant engine." Over the following weeks, the salvage yard transformed into a cathedral of human ingenuity. Sparks flew 24 hours a day. Code was written, rewritten, and rewritten again. Engineers from different nations and backgrounds worked in a symphony of controlled chaos. The Council sent an inspector, a pompous Vryn admiral who arrived expecting to find humans cowering among garbage. Instead, he found a monster taking shape. "What is that?" the admiral demanded, his translator struggling with his tone of disbelief. Lisa stood beside the towering construct, her chin raised. "That, Admiral, is the UHNS Defiance, humanity's contribution to your war." The ship defied every principle of modern spacecraft design. Its hull was a patchwork of different alloys and materials, each section clearly from a different origin. Weapons bristled from every surface, not neatly organized like proper warships, but jutting out at aggressive angles. The whole thing looked like it had been assembled by madmen. This violates 17 different engineering protocols," the Admiral sputtered. "The harmonics alone should tear it apart." Leo stepped forward, his voice cold. "Funny thing about human engineering, Admiral. We don't worry much about protocols when we're fighting for survival." The Defiance's maiden voyage came sooner than anyone expected. The Zrathi launched a surprise assault on the Keltor homeworld, and every available ship was called to respond. The Council fleet deployed in perfect formation. Beautiful, symmetrical, and predictable. The Defiance followed, a dark and twisted shadow that made the other ships edge away nervously. "All hands. This is Captain Chen." Lisa's voice rang through the ship. "We know what they think of us. We know what they expect. Let's show them what humanity does with garbage." The battle was chaos. Zrathi ships moved like silver knives through the darkness, their weapons precise and devastating. Council ships fought with practiced efficiency, but they were being overwhelmed by superior technology. Then the Defiance entered the fight. Lisa's strategy was pure human madness. While other ships maintained proper engagement distances and followed tactical doctrine, the Defiance dove straight into the enemy formation. Its mismatched shields flickered and adapted, each section operating on different frequencies that confused Zrathi targeting systems. "Weapons free," Leo shouted. The Defiance unleashed hell. Keltor plasma cannons fired alongside Thaxian railguns and jury-rigged human missile systems. The ship didn't fight like anything the Zrathi had encountered, because it was built from a dozen different military philosophies. Combined in ways that shouldn't work but somehow did, a Zrathi destroyer moved to flank them. Lisa smiled. "Sarah, deploy the surprise." Hidden within the Defiance's chaotic structure were human innovations the Council had never considered. Drone swarms launched from converted cargo bays. Electronic warfare packages, cobbled together from human-civilian tech, jammed enemy communications. And at its heart, the human nuclear reactor provided a power reserve that allowed the ship to keep fighting long after it should have been disabled. The Zrathi destroyer exploded, and the enemy fleet began to falter. "They're retreating," a Vryn cruiser captain broadcast in disbelief. Lisa leaned back in her command chair, exhausted but triumphant. Around her, the bridge crew, humans who had been given nothing but scraps, had proven what their species could accomplish. The Galactic Council had given humanity garbage, expecting them to fail. Instead, humans had taken that garbage and forged it into the most feared warship in the sector. The Defiance wasn't elegant. It wasn't beautiful. But it was effective, and it was human, and that made all the difference. As the fleet regrouped, Lisa caught Leo's eye. He was grinning, despite the blood on his forehead from where a console had exploded. "Think they'll respect us now?" he asked. Lisa looked at the enemy fleeing before them. "I don't care if they respect us, Leo, as long as they fear what we can do." The Defiance hung in space, a monument to human stubbornness and creativity. They had been given scrap metal and told to fight the galaxy's deadliest enemy. Humanity had accepted the challenge, and won.